Please welcome Diane Greene, Senior Vice President, Google Cloud.
Okay, welcome everybody. Thanks so much. So many familiar faces. On behalf of our entire Google Cloud executive team, we want to welcome you here, our customers, our partners, and everybody else. We're pretty excited to give you this September 29th sort of snapshot of where we are. 40 weeks, we're counting by the week, so much is happening. That when we brought this whole team together as one, we're really functioning as a team. And I'm sure I've talked to over 200 customers and partners. And I've learned a lot from their customers and our partners about the unique value that Google's bringing. And I want to really talk about that to you today. It's been a wonderful discovery. And I also want to talk to you about the fact that when I came in, we were sort of Google for Work, we were GCP, we were Google Apps, we were the enterprise mobile devices and so forth. And we'd go around, talk to the customers, and I'd be there with our top technology people, and we'd kind of blow our customers away, and we'd get to the end of the conversation, and I'd say, so, any other questions? And they'd go, yeah, is Google really serious about the enterprise? And it was, kind of driving us crazy, and because we're very serious about the enterprise. That's why we were all there. And so we said, well, maybe we better call ourselves Google Enterprise. So we started doing that internally. We started doing it externally. Just to put a point on, we are serious about the enterprise. And then a couple months ago, all of a sudden, the questions started dissipating. People seem to be getting it. They're kind of putting their money where their mouth is. They're serious about the enterprise. They're executing. They're delivering these things. And we're like, enterprise? That was so June. We're the full power of Google in the cloud. We're Google Cloud. And that's what our entire organization is. It's a uniquely Google broad set of technologies, solutions, products, from all built for the cloud, from the Android and secure Chromebook, enterprise mobility devices, desktop devices, to all of Google Cloud Platform, from the data centers up through our data analytics, the APIs, the machine learning, the smart data that we make available to our developers, the maps, APIs for the enterprise, and our much loved, amazing, built for the cloud, completely integrated collaboration and productivity suite of tools, known as Google Apps, changing the name today. All of this is Google Cloud. And I have to say, when we said this to everybody at Google, there was just no questions. Everybody kind of cheered, let out a sigh of relief. Everybody feels, that we're Google Cloud. And this is, the cloud, I came to work on Google Cloud. I knew it was just a gigantic thing, but it's the biggest IT transformation ever. What I didn't appreciate was the pace. I've never seen anything like it. The pace is just relentless, and it's getting faster every day. And the totally amazing thing, given this pace, is where we are. We're at the beginning. So Deutsche Bank took the top 3 public cloud vendors, AWS, Google, and Azure, and added up their estimated revenues, and then said, well, the IT industry is something more than $1 trillion, and it gets 5% of the total available market is where we are today. So we're moving fast. We've got well over 10,000 engineers working on all this. Since January, 339 product releases, including things like new data centers, new data analytics functionality, search functionality for the apps, and so forth. these next numbers are our growth in revenue. So storage. I recently heard that there's a new health company startup that's looking at 2 petabytes per patient that they want to keep. Unbelievable numbers of satellite images coming down. You name it. Storage revenue 10x. Compute 4x. And we really enjoyed this unprecedented historical bump in compute we recently had, where we scaled up this phenomena of all these zombies walking around into fountains and so forth, Pokemon Go, in kind of a matter of, you'll hear later from them about that. And then a whopping 25x growth in managed containers. This is how people are building apps, developers are building applications. It's fast, it's simple. You can concentrate on the user-facing functionality and let Google take care of everything else. Very exciting, you'll hear more about that too. And then finally, we've always done really well with consumers, really well with small, medium-sized businesses, and we really wanted to bring, Google is one of the bigger enterprises in the world, and we're 100% on our suite of productivity and collaboration tools, Google Apps. And we said, let's bring this, let's really show companies all over the world, big companies, how this can transform their business and really help them move faster and more collaboratively, more transparently. So we pushed for big customers, which we defined as more than 5,000 seats, and we're seeing 3x growth. It's very exciting to us. And that includes over 300,000 seats, several over 100,000 seats, a lot of big customers. Very happy. So the cloud, how did it start? Well, initially it was a convenient way. If you were a startup, you didn't have to buy equipment, servers, storage. If you were a department that couldn't get resources from your IT group, you'd kind of use the cloud. And people were trying to figure out if they were really saving money. The smaller you were, the more money you would save. And then, something happened where we started getting all these breaches. A medical record per patient costs several $100s anywhere there's a breach. We all see all these breaches, and it started dawning on people that you really need scale to do security. So that's in the clouds. So really in boardrooms, people started saying, shouldn't you be looking at saving some costs and the security of the cloud? I can't tell you how many contacts I get from people interested in hiring a board member that has cloud expertise. It's become mission critical to companies to understand that. And everybody's looking at moving. I sometimes wish the pace would slow down. And so that's good, that's fine. But the really interesting thing going on is the digital transformation, what's happening with people becoming digital businesses. And I'll give you an example. If you think about something like maps, we all used to go to the AAA and get our paper map before we went off in our car on a trip. And it got digitized. It went into the cloud. And what that did was really provide a platform for all kinds of new business models, all kinds of new services. For instance, Waze figured out they could take real-time traffic information and overlay it on the maps. What a phenomenal value to customers. Whole new business, whole new set of value. Becoming digital lets people move fast, and lets them get real-time data and make real-time decisions. It's completely transformational. And every day, new technologies are coming out that let you do it better and better and do it more powerfully. What that all says is if you're going to move to the cloud, who your partner is really matters, okay? You want someone that really is bold, that's thinking long-term, that's built for innovation, that's going to keep you on that innovation curve so that you can compete and have the latest empowering technology right away, easily and simply. And I love this photo. When I went to give this talk, it was my first slide. I said, I want this slide in my talk because I like the ocean. And this is U.S. Faster. This is a submarine cable laying ship. And what it's doing there in that picture is we laid a cable from 9,000 kilometers from the US to Japan, repeaters every 60 kilometers to re-energize the light. 60 terabit per second. That's, I think, 10 million or 100 million. I always keep getting these orders. 10 million times faster, more capacity than a cable modem. Anyhow, the point is, this is a big investment. Google has the best network in the world. I mean, it's estimated we run 30% of the world's internet. It's been publicly estimated that we run 30% of the world's internet. I mean, we reach everywhere in the world, difficult to reach places like Saudi Arabia, Africa. We have to for our 7 billion plus apps. And actually, I'll digress once more. We recently figured out, because of our customers, that actually Google has 8 billion plus active user apps, because Google Cloud and its users are clearly over 1 billion active users. But so anyhow, so the point is, you want someone that's innovating, that's thinking long-term, and moving forward. This is a very exciting thing that Google knows this. I didn't fully assimilate it till we were talking to a customer of ours, a big SaaS vendor, and they kept asking questions. Well, you know, what happens if the network goes down? And well, how does the identity work in all the different places in your system? And then finally, this CIO, CTO looked at us and he said, you know what? Google actually has the most enterprise-appropriate approach of any cloud. And we're like, and we, you know, what that is when we build something, we think of it as a system, not as a bunch of components that you, the user, have to kind of assemble and hope it all kind of has the same availability. But if you're doing data analytics and the network goes down, you can't get at your data analytics. You can't run it. And so anything that would keep you from offering your service is considered the system at Google. That's how we think. That's how we built Google from the beginning. We had to. And so what that means is also Google gets the cloud. Google was started in the cloud. Google was built for the cloud. And so we can even give you a slider. So you can say, if I don't want a high SLA, if I don't want high availability or performance, it costs Google less, so your price is less. If you want, you know, the 5 nines and the lowest latency, it costs you more. But we can slide that, and because we took the system approach, we can do that. I think it's a really big deal. We're also doing, you know, Google does have the best security. You know, we have over 600 people. We do keep our customers secure. However, our customers need to convince their customers, and they need to convince the regulators that they are secure. So what that means is we are working with our customers to knock off all the compliance badges that they need, to work with the regulators together with our customers all over the world and help them prove to the people they need to prove it to that they are secure. Huge effort here, one we embrace very heartily. And then machine learning. It's something Google invested in pretty much from the beginning. You know, today at Google we have a phenomenal community of machine learning and AI researchers. We have Google Brain. We have the Alphabet companies, DeepMind, Verily, now Calico. We have Google Cloud ML. All those research scientists, a huge assemblage of the world's best working together as a community to move the state of the art forward. And what we're so excited about with Google Cloud is we can democratize it. We can bring it to everybody. Google Brain open source TensorFlow so that everybody could do it. And now we're increasingly building the tools to make it easy for any of our customers to take their own proprietary data and train it. We also bring our smart data, if you will, our trained data, the data, and let you query it through APIs. You can read text, you can recognize, address, you can do speech recognition and so forth through the APIs direct to developers. And of course, all of Google's products, as you'll hear from Prabhakar in our suite of productivity apps, are infused with machine intelligence. And speaking of machine learning, so in addition, we're going to have a nice cross section of our customers today to tell you how they're using it. Airbus using image recognition to detect clouds. Home Depot, who is also using our recently acquired company Apogee, hasn't quite closed yet, to do the API management. They're using Google Cloud and the API management to make it easy for them to talk to their customers and partners. And then TELUS International, the Canadian, international telco, 20,000 people all over the world using Google Apps and Chrome. And then in a different category, we have Snap, and formerly Snapchat. And they, I think I get more excited than my 18-year-old daughter now when they do a new release because we're provisioning for it. And then we'll have Pokemon Go talking about their recent debut. And then finally, Evernote, which was on-prem, has been on-prem. They recently decided to move to the cloud. We were pretty excited to win the bake-off. They'll be telling you, their CEO will be here telling you why. And we also are pretty excited about, we deeply embrace partnering at Google, and Evernote is one we're partnering deeply around Google Apps with for the benefit of our mutual customers. We've also got pure partners here. We have Pivotal, making it easier for our developers to quickly build apps agilely. We have many, many partners here in the audience, PwC and Accenture. The CTO of Accenture is here to announce our partnership with them and talk about what he's seeing. Stepping back, what's going on here? Google's been having huge impact on the world right from the get-go. But we kind of think with the late 2013 release of Google Compute Engine, we kind of moved into the exponent. It's great to be in the exponent. It's leverage. And the reason we have that leverage now is it's not just us. It's why we're the 8th billion plus active user sort of app at Google. With our customers, with our partners, we are having an exponential impact all over the world. We think bringing our technology, getting our customers on our technology curve, it's actually going to spur economies all over the world. The small startup in Africa has the best of Google's machine learning. They can do image recognition. They can do language translation. They can use everything we have. And so they can concentrate on their great ideas and getting it into the market very quickly. This is unprecedented, these kinds of capabilities for everybody in the world. And that's what gives us this exponential impact, which we're all very excited about. And so today you're going to hear from the rest of our Google Cloud team, our executives, with announcements about some new products that we have in all kinds of areas. And then also our customers, our partners. And so I'm going to wrap up, and I just want to kind of summarize 3 big things of what I've been talking about today. One is just the excellence of our engineering and how important this systems approach is. I also want to really emphasize, when you sign up to the cloud, it's a bet. It's a long-term bet. In fact, I have had 2 customers now that want to evaluate Google Cloud. And one of them in particular said that they were kind of looking for a reason not to look at Google Cloud, who wants to learn something new. And they couldn't find it, and then they caucused among themselves, and they said, you know what, we decided in 5 years Google will have won this. Google will have won this. I can barely say it. It makes me so happy. Okay, so and it's because of the technology curve we're going to get people on. And when you compare our products to our competitors' products, apples to apples, they're just plain better. And we're closing the gap incredibly fast. And then finally, Google's about substance. It's a technology company. We want to partner with our customers. We want to make them successful. We're merging two sets of technology, our customers and ours, and that requires partnering and technical interaction. And that's what we're doing. And Tarek, who leads our customer facing, will tell you more about that.